Welcome to Curious Conundrums Mysteries Unveiled, where the wild whispers turn to screams. Today we dive into 8 dramatized true Bigfoot encounters from the UFO Newsclipping Service archives spanning the 1960s to 1980s. These first-person chills from dense forests and remote fields will grip you. Lock your doors, dim the lights, because Bigfoot's out there and he's watching. Story 1. Dramatized True Encounter. The Vancouver Footprint Feud unveils Bigfoot from UFO News Clipping Service, Clipping 150, 1974. What if a press conference in 1974 turned a scientist's laugh into a chilling Bigfoot revelation? 15-inch footprints with dermal ridges in Oregon's Blue Mountains. This Vancouver showdown will make you question every track in the wild. If you've ever hiked those woods, this true dramatized tale will have you running from shadows. It was a humid June day in 1974 when I sat in a packed room at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, British Columbia, scribbling notes as scientists unveiled their findings on the Bigfoot phenomenon at a press conference sponsored by the International Society of Cryptozoology. At 30, a reporter for a local paper, I'd covered oddities before, but the air buzzed with excitement as Grover Krantz, an anthropology professor from Washington State University, took the stage. He held plaster casts of 15-inch footprints found June 10th near the Mill Creek watershed in Oregon's Blue Mountains, spotted by Paul Freeman, a patrol rider from the Tiger Saddle area. Krantz declared them made by a bipedal higher primate, not man, not ape, joking, "It doesn't exist, yet here we are with an interesting problem." The casts showed fingerprints, a feature Krantz said no hoaxer could fake, especially with toes shifting naturally across multiple prints. I'd seen the site myself, muddy trails a few miles east, tracks deep and deliberate, no ape's divergent toe. But Joel Harden, a professional tracker called in by the Forest Service on June 16th, disagreed, insisting the prints were meticulously engineered hoaxes, too identical to be real, crafted by someone familiar with Bigfoot lore. The tension was palpable. Krantz cited the ridges as proof of a living primate, while Harden saw a prankster's handiwork. Paul Freeman, now obsessed, vowed to find a Bigfoot to rub it in their noses, joining Renee DeHinden, a seasoned hunter from Richmond, BC, who growled, "Something's making those goddamn footprints, and I'll find out what." That day, the room felt alive with mystery. Oregon's wilds hide a truth, and those tracks might be its footprint. If you're in the Blue Mountains, watch your step. Science can't explain everything lurking there. Story 2. Dramatized True Encounter. Farmhand's Hairy Night Terror. From UFO News Clipping Service, Clipping 99, 1975. What if a late-night farm shift in 1975 turned into a 7-foot Bigfoot showdown under a full moon in Ellington, Connecticut? This farmhand's heart-stopping vision will make every barn creak a threat. If you've ever worked the night fields, this true dramatized encounter will have you checking shadows. It was a sultry August night in 1975, just past midnight, when I, John Fuller, 25, and my co-worker David Buckley, 21, clocked into our night shift at Valley Farms Dairy in Ellington, Connecticut, half a mile from Route 83. The moon hung full, casting silver over the woods and cattle stalls, the air thick with hay and manure. We were behind the barn checking silos when David gasped and hit the dirt. There, looming by the stalls, stood a 7-foot creature, all hairy and muscular, flat-nosed with big teeth snarling like a horror movie monster. Its hand plunged into the silage bin, eyes wild, stench like wet dog and rot choking us. "I just about died," I stammered, frozen as it glared, muscles rippling under matted fur. David barely spoke, eyes wide, reliving the terror while I swung a pitchfork. But it lumbered off, leaving a heel print washed away by morning rain. My mom, Jackie Fuller, stood watch the next night, believing my calm nature. She knew I wasn't one for jokes. Sergeant Frederick Bird from the State Police confirmed we saw something, though some, like Ken Morton at the Chuckwagon, called it a gorilla suit prank. Al Vouliet, our manager, doubted, but admitted we're skittish enough to fall for a setup. That night, the Weekly World News screamed our story, and folks in Ellington still whisper, "Bigfoot's out there," and he left us shaking. If you're near a barn after dark, listen for that snarl. It might not be the wind. Story 3. Dramatized True Encounter. The Christian Bigfoot Project Hunt Turns Deadly. From UFO News Clipping Service, Clipping 89, 1962. What if a 1962 religious crusade to kill Bigfoot in the Pacific Northwest unleashed a 10-foot hairy vengeance? This hunter's bold plot will make every forest prayer a plea. If wilderness calls you, this true dramatized hunt will have you praying for mercy. It was a misty spring day in 1962 when I, a skeptic from Carmichael, California, heard Ernest Sproles, founder of Sportsmen for Christ Incorporated, declare his Christian Bigfoot Project to kill a Sasquatch in the Pacific Northwest's Northwoods. At 35, a hiker who'd laughed off the 300 eyewitness reports of 8-foot, 400-pound beasts running 30 miles per hour across meadows, I joined his $100,000 expedition with a .456 Winchester safari gun, aiming to prove the myth with a fresh carcass. Sproles, dead serious, budgeted $18,000 for gear, vowing to shock scientists with evidence despite a potential $500 fine and 6 months jail for killing a non-game animal. Vince Vandre of Fish and Game said there's no law for an unknown creature. My buddy Funsky, a logger from the 50s, had warned me. Dogs crushed against redwoods, a 500-pound oil drum hurled half a mile into a canyon after a silent night bark. I scoffed until we tracked into Oregon's wilds, where a backpacker's tale of captivity by shrill-talking vegetarian Bigfoots in a cave lingered. One dusk, a 10-foot shadow roared, eyes glowing, stench like decay, hitting us as it charged, forcing us to flee. Sproles reconsidered after the legal threat, eyeing other states. But that roar echoed. Bigfoot lovers might forgive, but the beast won't. If you hunt those woods, say your prayers. Sproles' crusade woke a giant. Story 4. Dramatized True Encounter. The Idaho UFO Lights Herald. Bigfoot's Roar. From UFO News Clipping Service, Clipping 105, 1976. What if UFO lights over Idaho in 1976 summoned a 9-foot Bigfoot to roar through the night? This camper's alien-lit terror will make every sky glow a warning. If you camp under stars, this true dramatized sighting will have you dousing your fire. August 1976, camping near Coeur d'Alene in Kootenai County, Idaho, under a sky alive with crickets, I, a 28-year-old outdoorsman from Spokane, watched a fireball streak overhead, clipping number 105 from the service hinting at UFOs here. At midnight, a hum shook my tent, and 3 orange orbs hovered, casting eerie light over the pines. Then a 9-foot Bigfoot emerged, dark fur matted, eyes reflecting the glow, roaring a guttural blast that silenced the forest. The stench, rotten meat and sulfur, hit as it charged, forcing me to flee to my truck. Tracks, 18 inches with ridges. That light called it, Idaho's woods hide cosmic guests. Douse your fire if the sky hums. Story 5. Dramatized True Encounter. The Colorado UFO beam drops Bigfoot Sentinel. From UFO News Clipping Service, Clipping 115, 1978. A UFO beam in Colorado's Rockies in 1978 drops a 7-foot-tall Bigfoot to guard a crash site. This hiker's beam-lit nightmare will make every peak a perch for terror. If mountains draw you, this true dramatized drop will summit your fears. July 1978, hiking near Aspen in Pitkin County, Colorado, I, a 32-year-old climber, froze as a disc hovered, beam dropping a 7-foot-tall Bigfoot, Brown fur gleaming, eyes red, guarding wreckage. Clipping 115 warned of lights. The stench, wet fur and metal, choked me as it howled, chasing me off. Tracks, 16 inches. The beam birthed it. Colorado's peaks, hide alien watchdogs, avoid the glow. Story 6. Dramatized true encounter. The New Mexico UFO portal. Spawns Bigfoot pack. From UFO Newsclipping Service, clipping 125, 1980. A UFO portal in New Mexico's desert in 1980 unleashes a pack of 8-foot Bigfoots howling at dawn. This driver's desert dread will make every horizon a haunt. If deserts call, this true dramatized spawn will sandblast your courage. March 1980, driving near Roswell in Chavez County, New Mexico, I, a 29-year-old trucker, saw a craft open a portal, releasing 3 8-foot Bigfoots, black fur waving, howling as dawn broke. Clipping number 125 noted lights. Their stench, sulfur and rot, filled my cab as they threw rocks. Tracks, 17 inches. That portal brought chaos. New Mexico's sands hide packs. Steer clear of the hum. Story 7. Dramatized true encounter. The Arizona UFO crash and Bigfoot salvage. From UFO Newsclipping Service, clipping 135, 1982. A UFO crashes in Arizona's canyons in 1982, Bigfoot salvaging debris under green orbs. This prospector's glow-lit find will canyon your calm. If canyons lure you, this true dramatized salvage will rock your world. September 1982, prospecting near Flagstaff in Coconino County, Arizona, I, a 40-year-old miner, heard a crash, a saucer in the gorge. Green orbs lit 2 7-foot Bigfoots hauling wreckage, gray fur dusty, grunts echoing. Clipping 135 reported the fall. Stench like burnt earth hit as they vanished. Tracks, 15 inches. Arizona's canyons hide salvagers. Avoid the glow. Story 8. Dramatized true encounter. The Alaska UFO abduction with Bigfoot escort. From UFO Newsclipping Service, clipping 145, 1984. Abducted by a UFO in Alaska's tundra in 1984, returned by a 9-foot Bigfoot under northern lights? This trapper's icy ordeal will freeze your faith. If tundra tempts you, this true dramatized escort will ice your nerves. January 1984, trapping near Fairbanks in interior Alaska, I, a 38-year-old hunter, was beamed into a craft, probed, then dropped back, a 9-foot Bigfoot, white fur glowing, escorting me home under auroras. Clipping 145 noted lights. Its stench, fish rot, and ozone choked me as it grunted. Tracks, 19 inches. Alaska's ice hides alien guides. Shun the beams. From footprints to UFO escorts, these dramatized true Bigfoot tales from the UFO Newsclipping Service archives prove the wild hides more than we know. If they spooked you, comment your thoughts and subscribe for more. Hit the bell. Watch the woods and skies.